Hello and welcome to Shopcast. I am your host Verkha, co-founder of Shopdibz, India's only digital mall designed exclusively for Indian brands. At Shopdibz, our vision aligns with Swadeshi 2.0 and Atmanirbhar Bharat, empowering Indian entrepreneurs and redefining how people shop online. Today, we have got an exciting conversation lined up for you with Anshika, founder of Polki Sarees, and we bring insight, story, and little fun along the way. So let's dive in. Anshika, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Verkha. Thank you for inviting me here. I'm so excited to be a part of this conversation, and I can't wait to, interact with the people today.
So Anshika, India already have millions of saris brand. Why did you think that the world needed one more? Wasn't this a little bit crazy?
See, when I started it, it was a little crazy. I mean, every time I think about it, I was thinking that why do I even need to start something which already exists? Like the market is already saturated. There are already hundreds or thousands of brands out there for selling sarees for different categories across different price ranges. Then what is it that I can do different, right? So then what stuck me there is that it's not always about the idea that has to be different. It depends a lot on the execution of it, right? So when I started, there was a little bit of my family background that was involved in me getting started with, into the sari space or women ethnic wear space, I would say. I come from a family where we've been into women ethnic wear category for almost 40 years now. So you can think about the level of network we have with the manufacturers, with the artisans all across the country, and we know where we can get what kind of product at the quality and the price that we can offer to our customers. So yes, it was a little crazy when we decided to start with it. But then there was one more thing that it was not just entirely out of passion that I just started. Like, okay, I have the contact, I have the, experience in this. I mean, my family has it. So let me just start it. What also struck me was that every where I used to look, people, especially the Gen Zs and millennials, are trying to connect back to their roots. They're trying to find fashion which is modern, yet they are culturally rooted in Indian art. Which is when I decided that okay, there was kind of an amalgamation of two things here. One, that I have a perfect family background, that I can do it. Second, I was confident enough that I could also do it. Not like it actually takes a lot of courage to leave your job and then start it. So that's the second thing. And third, it was coupled with the fact that I could see people looking for products, looking for fashion that actually has some meaning and it's not just, soulless prints all over the place. So that was the reason why we decided to build a brand in ethnic wear. I mean, we don't plan to stay specifically into sarees, but yes, sarees was like a category which we wanted to start with and experiment the space because it was relatively easier as compared to any other category we were dealing. So that's what we did. We knew that okay, this is the thing people want to find fashion inspired by Indian art, and hence we brought it for the people. So you'll find Ajrakh print, you'll get Bandhani and Lahariya print, Kalamkari print, Madhubani prints, and all of those prints you will find on our website. Sticker print from Bihar. So all of these prints are something that we're dealing, and we're planning to even expand that further.
So your saris are inspired by Ajrakh, Bandhej, Dabu, basically things that belong in the grandma's cupboard. How did you make them cool for a 25-year-old who is more into like Zara, H&M thing and Zardori?
See, the thing is that there's a set customer persona that we deal with. Of course, there are people who would not like any kind of prints on their products. They want simple products. They want a block color on it. Like for example, if you look at Zara, most of the products, especially in the women category, are not prints. They are block colors or like specific colors or like just like a combination of colors with no specific print. Like I said, it's like a modern art sort of thing. So that is not the kind of target audience we are reaching to altogether. What we plan to do is, I know that there are people who fall into that persona where they are kind of, they are young at soul, but they still have a vintage heart. So that is the kind of customer persona we are dealing with. We're dealing with women who are millennials mostly. We're also dealing with Gen Zs actually. Gen Zs are also finding really very good comfort in our product. But majority of our customer audience and the direct target audience are millennials who grew up watching their mothers wearing saris and have also seen how their mothers have drifted apart from that. So that kind of nostalgia is something that we want to bring back. I feel, every time when I talk to my customers, the customers are talking about how they find our sari something that they've seen it in like the past, but it's not the kind of prints that we're dealing in exactly like that. We're bringing them with a modern touch, with the way we style it, with the way we bring the colors and the pop to it, so that it actually brings a little freshness to the entire design.
So I would love to know the story behind the Polki saris. So be honest. Was Polki started out of passion or frustration? Like one of those, I can't find what I want to. So let's just make it a myself moment.
So actually, it was a little bit of both, I would say. Passion, yes, definitely. I grew up, like I said, I belong to a family where we have been into women ethnic wear for years now. So when I was a kid, I used to see my father go out on different, multiple escapades across the country. कभी वो जयपुर जा रहे हैं, कभी सूरत जा रहे हैं. He's going to like different cities to find the right product for his, for our store here in Ketan. So the thing was that I grew up around fabric. I knew I had the knowledge and the expertise here that came down obviously from my father. He used to teach me कि ये ऐसे ये जारदोजी का कपड़ा है, ये brocade का design होता है. This is what we call block print. This is what the Dabu print is. This is ikat work. All of these things are something that I grew up watching. So that was definitely in my I would say blood. कि मुझे फैशन स्पेस का ऐसा था कि आई वांटेड टू डू समथिंग इन द फैशन कैटेगरी बट आई डिडंट नो दैट आई वुड स्टार्ट इट टू सून. But how I started it was that I was working after my graduation in 2021. I was working in a consulting firm for over 2 years, and there I was working with a couple of D2C brands as a consultant, of course, but not like working with them end to end. I didn't know what goes behind at the ground level and what takes to like build a D2C brand. So that D2C brand was something that I wanted to build for my own, for my own self. That was like what I wanted to do. And because I have understood the processes, I've been into the consulting phase, so that helped me gain a lot of knowledge and the processes of how to do things in a systematic manner. I thought that this would be the right time for me to step back and actually do something that I've been meaning to do for a long time, but I've just kept it like on the side, thinking that this is not the right time. Maybe I'll do it later. So I just took that leap of faith at that time. I thought that maybe this is the right time. I wanted to do something in D2C space. I also have some experience in fashion, and the fashion market is always booming. It's always growing. So why not?
Absolutely. So Polki means uncut diamond. What was that one raw, uncut, unpolished moment in your journey where you almost gave up?
So actually, I would say that we've been in a very beginning of our journey right now, and there haven't been a very great or a big moment where I felt like, okay, I have to give up. I feel that we have still time to reach a point where I might get overwhelmed to an extent that I might think that I can't do this. There have been times actually, like very small momentary lapse, I would say, where because I'm working alone, I don't have a team here. The only support I get is from my family members, like who could help me with like certain chores, be it like as simple as packing orders or like calling customers to confirm certain cash on delivery orders so that we don't receive returns and then have like end up in huge losses because of shipping costs. So those are the kind of things that my family support me with, but there are so many things that I need support with, be it like social media marketing, be it designing and manufacturing, be it finding the right vendors who can help me with the kind of scale and the production quantities that I need. So there have been times when I felt like it's not working out. I mean, I'm not able to find the right people to work with. So I almost were on the verge of like giving up. There was also times when initially for the first 9 months when we started in April 2024, we started at a very small scale. It was completely bootstrapped for us. It still is actually. But then in the first 9 months, we were not getting as good orders to sustain for like a long time. Our entire, the cash in our bank account was almost nil to an extent that we could not proceed further for the next financial year. and we thought that we might have to end things here. So first 9 months we were only getting like 3-4 orders a month, 5-6 orders a month. There was huge dip in certain months, and then there was again rise in certain months. We didn't have processes on what is going on, what is working out for us, and what is not working out for us. So yes, there have been those times when I almost gave up. There were the times when I didn't know what to do, who to reach out to. But I think it was just that consistency and that belief in my own self that okay, maybe I need to focus more on one thing rather than putting my hands and like legs everywhere. And that's when we started to pivot to a place where we actually could start seeing results. And now it feels like there's no stopping back.
Perfect. So, how big is Polki Sarees now? Like in terms of the revenue, in terms of the growth, and where you currently stand?
So I'm not sure if I should be talking about the revenue numbers here, but I can definitely talk about the growth rate. We are in a growth phase right now. We are growing at a pace of at least 40 to 50% in our top line, which is revenue every month. And yeah, we do have around 5,000 plus customers just on our website who have bought from us and who have loved our products, and they've also come back and shopped from us as well.
Well, that's a good number. And I would love to know if I want to start my own sari brand, what would you recommend me? Should I go completely online or should I go for offline?
So you're talking specifically for sarees?
Yes.
See, let me break it down in terms of like both pros and cons to it. See, in any fashion category, people want to, it's all a game of like touch and see. People want to touch the fabric. They want to see that, okay, what is it? That is it something that would suit my skin? Is it something that I would like to wear on a longer term? Is it something that would, go well in the current weather, be it humid, be it hot, be it like sunny, or be it like normal weather? Is it sheer? Is it too thin? Is it too thick for me? So all of those kind of things are something that people really, you know, struggle with in the fashion space. So online way, that is the drawback you have. You cannot make the customer feel the kind of fabric you're dealing with, especially when you're dealing in a very expensive category, because then your customer would be very reluctant to come and experiment with it, or like just be like, so, okay, let me buy it one time and let's see if it's good or not. It's not like too expensive. I can experiment with it. But and offline would only always be better if you have that amount of capital expenditure that you can put in. I did not have that. I obviously want to start, move to offline sector as well, where it like that. But it's only when I know that okay, my online place is fixed enough that now I cannot grow further without branding or without more marketing through offline channels. Like अभी मुझे पता है कि अभी तो मेरा सिर्फ D2C चल रहा है. Now there are so many marketplaces that I can onboard myself on, be it Amazon, be it Myntra, be it Nykaa Fashion. So if like my D2C growth stops or gets saturated and I'm not growing at a 50% growth rate on a month-on-month basis, then I might want to experiment with the marketplaces, because the amount of reach that these people, these spaces that can offer me is unbelievable. It's not the kind of space that I can get with my own D2C on my own D2C website with the budget that we put in market. Right? So online में आपको ये benefit रहता है that your capital expenditure is definitely very low. You don't have to set up the cost of rents and overheads in the first place. So online में major is going to be your cost of goods sold, and then maybe your shipping and packaging charges, and then your marketing charges. So these are the things that are only anyway going to be in the offline space as well. So I would recommend people to start with online if you are getting confused on what is the right space to start with. Once you know that, okay, this is something that is specifically working out for you in the market, then you can transition to an offline space. Once you know that, okay, now I have a good brand in space. When I say brand, I'm not saying it's easy to build a brand. It takes years to build a brand. But at least it reaches a stage where people start recognizing you, and you have a good repeat customer purchases, and you have that idea, you have that understanding that, okay, these are the kind of designs that are working out for me in the market. So I need to further double down on that. And online where one thing we have to really be careful about is you need to make your policies very customer friendly, so that your customer would be willing to buy from you. If you don't have a good return policy in place, if you're not offering cash on deliveries to your people, And if you are not reverting back to your customers and their queries on time, either through emails or through Instagram or whatever it is, then people might start to question your entire existence. They might question that, okay, whether this brand is a fake one or it's actually a real one. So you need to take care of these things so that people feel that, okay, let me buy from it. If I don't like it, I can return it. Like there's a policy for this. I can exchange it. Or in case if they are scared that, okay, what if they'll receive the product or not? There's a cash on delivery option so that people can pay only when they receive it at their doorsteps. So these are the things that you need to ensure so that your customer acquisition cost would be less. More people would be willing to buy or experiment with you. And if your services are great, if your product is great, then there's no way that the people are not going to come back to you in case you're dealing with your direct laboratories.
Yes, absolutely. It's very important to build the trust between the brand and the customers. So,
Yes.
keeping the customer in mind, when you design a sari, do you think about the weddings and festivals, or do you actually imagine a girl wearing it on a Tuesday Zoom call?
So actually, we think about only one thing, that we want to make the product in a way that it ensures that people can repeat and wear it on different occasions. So whenever we design a particular product, we design it in a way that in a way like somewhere in the middle. Of course, I'm not saying that each and every saree on our collection is something that you can wear in office as well as on functions. But what we do keep in mind is that if there's a saree, we want to make sure that the quality and the comfort that we offer is something that people can wear on a daily wear as well, as a daily wear as well. And they would want to wear it during certain occasions, like today itself. A lot of people are sending me pictures on my Instagram, showing me how they style the sari on Ganesh Chaturthi. So these are the sarees that I've also seen people wearing to their offices as well. So these are the kind of designs we keep in mind while designing. That okay, if I am trying to cater to the kind of women I am, with the kind of women that have been our loyal customers since day one. What are the kind of sarees that they like? What are the kind of use cases that they have? Mostly the cases the customers that we have are working women or professionals like doctors and something like that. So these people wear the sarees not only to work but also on their daily wear, and also style it with different jewelry, with different makeup and everything else, to style it in a way that it becomes appropriate for festive wear as well, like small festive wear. Not if not like great wedding dress or something, but yes, something that you can wear everywhere and you won't feel कि ये कुछ फीका है या ये कुछ ज्यादा ही भारी भारी पहना हुआ है. कंफर्ट इज व्हाट वी मेजरली फोकस है कि आप कभी भी उसको पहन सकते हो, आपको चुभेगा नहीं कपड़ा, आपको ऐसा नहीं लगेगा कि इट्स नॉट गुड फॉर माई स्किन और समथिंग लाइक दैट. But yes, the designs are focused at this in a way that they are not too heavy, but at the same time they are something that people can wear on certain occasions like pujas or small gatherings or kitty parties or something like that.
Absolutely. The fabric should be comfortable enough that the people can wear it anytime. I completely agree with you here. So, fashion in India is obsessed with perfect embroidery, perfect finish. But Polki Sari says imperfections are beautiful. Where did that philosophy come from? Your business or your life?
Actually, I would say it's ironical that I've been doing it like that, because I've been a person who's always wanted perfection in their lives. Like since every time since school there was a project, or like in college when there was like any presentation that we have to give, or in office when we have to prepare like a complete presentation on something. Everywhere I wanted to be perfect, right? I did not want to leave a space where somebody can come and tell me that this is a scope for improvement, right? So that is definitely something that I never that does not apply to my life as such. But one thing came to my mind at that time, that if I keep focusing on perfection, then I might lose out on a lot of things. There are so many entrepreneurs that I learn from these days, especially people who have been in not just in fashion category, but they deal in like other categories, and how they tell us that how they've never been perfect since day one, because the intention is to move ahead, not to stay stuck and be like, okay, I just want a perfect thing. Initially, we also aimed for perfection when we were doing things like, a perfect caption, the right hashtags and keywords, the perfect editing of the reel that we are posting on our Instagram. But with time, we realized that perfections is not something people are looking for actually. They want to look at those imperfect, not so flashy, not so nice behind the scene moments that actually go behind making a product, or that actually go behind trying to build a brand for yourself, right? So that was the intention here, that when we started Polki and we wanted to deal in handloom, we understood that when you're working with your hands, the perfections are not meant to be there at all. It's the human errors that make that piece truly unique, and that's what we wanted to tell people. And I think I'm so glad that people, all the customers that we have dealt with, no one has ever come to us and told us that okay, यहाँ पे ये निशान है या यहाँ पे ये थोड़ा टेढ़ा print हुआ हुआ है, and it's actually a flaw. We were always like, this is actually a good thing that we have it, and this shows that the product is actually made by a human hand. It is actually a unique product that you only own, and no two pieces are going to look exactly similar. So I think that is the thing that, it might not come directly from my philosophy, but with time I actually understood that, perfection is only going to make make my growth low. And if I have to keep growing and I have to keep moving at a rate which I want to, and if you have to grow like 30-40% or even higher on a monthly basis, you have to keep doing more and maybe be less perfect than doing less and be more perfect.
Absolutely right. So imperfection is something that can be liked by the customers. That is true, but it has to be of utmost quality and affordability. So
Yes.
let's talk about money. Sari plus affordable plus quality equals to what? It sounds like a scam. How are you pulling this off without burning all your cash?
See, it actually I've been able to answer this partially earlier. When I said that currently we are doing two things right. I would say one is that like I said that I come from a background where we've been working in a ethnic wear category for a long time now. See, when I started, there was also one more thing that I looked at, was that the entire women ethnic wear market is quite fragmented, and approximately like 80 to 85% of it is still is still unorganized. So when I saw it, is that if there's a sari which is getting manufactured or made in Bhagalpur in Bihar, which where like the ikat sarees are actually made, are originally made, बाकी जगह भी बनती है, ऐसा नहीं है बाकी जगह नहीं बनती है, but this is the space where people have been practicing this art form for like time immemorial, right? So that same sari maybe was traveling to Calcutta, which is like the closest textile hub for people. Then from Calcutta, it might be going to like, let's say Lucknow, or it might be going to Delhi. And then for people like us, like for my father, let's say, Delhi is like the closest hub in Haryana and Punjab ka side. Or maybe like, Ludhiana is also one more, but Ludhiana is in a completely different category. So if we talk about sarees, let's say, दिल्ली में बहुत ज्यादा आपको मिलेगा, वहाँ पे काफी सारीज के आपको मैन्युफैक्चरर्स और डीलर्स मिल जाएंगे. So you see that the product that is actually getting made in Delhi, in Bhagalpur, Bihar, is getting traveled to Calcutta. Then there is like an addition of margin, let's say 10% or 20%, and then from there to Lucknow or Delhi, let's say another 20%. And then when the seller is going to sell it to us, which is my father, who is coming from Haryana, a small city in Haryana, Ketat, we might add up another margin layer, which is like 10%, and then the customer. And then when we are selling, of course, in order to be profitable, in order to keep the business running, we need to add some margin to it. ऐसा तो है नहीं, सौ की चीज भी so many days की. So then again, my father is also going to add certain margin to it, that's another 10-20%. So you see that finally, what is happening is that the product which is getting manufactured in Bihar is going through so many layers, and then reaching the end customer. But because I come from that background, that experience we have, that family background is there, that where we know कि ठीक है, हम यहाँ से लेके आने की जरूरत नहीं है, हमें directly पता है where the product is actually getting it. So we can directly source it from there, but all the margin markup that is middlemen have been charging, so that we can directly offer that cost benefit to our customers. And also it will benefit us because we will be able to, even if with lesser margin, we'll be able to end up with more money, right? Because now the base is larger for us. So that's how like things work for us. Like one, because we know कि हमारा database बहुत strong है, हमारे contact बहुत strong है, जहाँ पे हमें पता था that we can get the price advantage. And second benefit is that like in the way we are doing things, we work on a very inventory light model right now. So what happens is that we don't stock up on our inventory and we don't pile up on inventories and block our working capital and just use stock of designs. What we do is we have been able to in the past, like I said, 9 months हमारा कुछ नहीं आया था, कोई orders नहीं आया था. But at least at that time we were working on our processes. We knew कि okay, what is it that we can make better in the entire process. So we understood, we found the right people to work with during that time. We know okay, if we have to launch a new design in the market, right? We only launch with let's say 10 pieces or like 10 or 15 pieces of a specific color. Then we test out in the market, spend on performance marketing, do the shoots and upload the product on the website and see what is working out for us. And then once we know that okay, if this particular saree in this particular color is the one that is actually working out, we then manufacture more of it. We then produce more of it rather than producing across all the colors, right? So then in that way, we are not only saving our working capital, we're also saving on that huge textile waste that that we have just avoided by just piling up on the stock with the इस तरह से कि order आएगा तो हम fulfill नहीं कर पाएंगे. We now know that okay, because the processes have been made quicker, कि हमें पता है कि आज को हमने साड़ी एक अगर बनाई है, so in the next 1 week we're going to shoot and launch it on the website, and then within the next 10 days or something, we're going to understand and get a report on what is working out for us in the market, and then accordingly start the production at the back end. So that is another way we are trying to reduce our cost and then hence not, again, marking up the prices in order to cover up that losses for the, loss for that booked inventory that we have. So that's how we are able to offer the customers with the quality and with the prices that we are offering.
Wow, what a story. So your brand is called Polki, uncut, raw and real. Now tell me the truth. What's one raw truth about building a brand in India that nobody told you?
One thing that nobody told me is that the pressure is only going to increase with time. Like, initially everybody says that, okay, so shuru mein you have to do the mehnat, and then once that is fixed, once that is done, it might be a smooth journey for you, like smoother journey for you. Of course, there'll be ups and downs. But in my case, I would say in fashion category, I would say, and especially when you're starting small, you have to make sure that you do all the processes start correct from stage one. You don't have to like if you think it in a way कि अभी तो हमने start ही किया है, let me just do certain जुगाड़, then let me just do it like this and बाद में देख लेंगे. Be it as simple as like managing accounts or filing up for GST. वो छोटी छोटी चीजें ना एंड में पाइल अप होके बहुत ज्यादा आपको परेशान करती है. So that is one thing that people never told me, that it's only going to increase your workload with time, especially in the fashion category, because you won't know how to deal with your customers anymore. You won't know how to like when to get that time and how to get that time to deal with multiple things at the same time. So nobody told me anything about building a team, let alone building a brand. So all of these things are something that people don't talk about, people don't tell, and people say that akele akele ho jayega. It's actually not true. You cannot build a great brand. You cannot grow to beyond a certain stage if you don't build a team and if you don't outsource your work to like outsource your specific tasks to people who you can trust and help and can help you grow with your business. So that is the thing that nobody told me about. One more thing that nobody told me about is that it's not gonna be as glamorous as it might sound. Like working in a fashion space, working in D2C space might seem like okay, it's fun and exciting, and you're gonna be around fabrics and dresses and sarees all the time. Like, and then you're gonna be shooting, you're gonna be the model of your brand, you're gonna be doing a lot of pictures and videos of the brand, and be active on social media. A lot of people are gonna recognize when know you. It just all sounds fancy unless you actually dip your hands in all of these things and realize that it's not that easy and it's not that quick on doing it. It takes time, it takes patience and efforts, and the results are going to take time. It's not going to be like okay, today you post a reel and tomorrow you're gonna go viral. It takes consistency and perseverance for you to keep going without expecting anything in return, especially for the first year.
Yes, perseverance is something that every entrepreneur should think about. Like, it's a very basic thing to have. And if Polki were a woman, how would she be? Raw, radiant, or someone who breaks the rules but still makes her dadi proud?
Actually, she would be someone who who is strong enough that she can fight in the war. So basically, I would say that if a woman is choosing our sarees over, let's say, any other saree in the world, or if she prefers to choose us, she's someone who is strong to face the real world, which is today. But she still has a vintage heart. She still wants to go back to her roots. And at the end of the day, she just wants to relax and sit back at her home and not just keep struggling and fighting to, to prove herself in the world. She's someone who is enigmatic. She's not someone who is trying to prove herself to the world all the time. She knows her worth, and she knows that, okay, I don't have to struggle and, hustle throughout the day, all the time, to prove to myself that I'm worth it. She knows her worth, and she knows that she deserves to be treated from time to time.
Okay. So, another question for you, like, tell me in one line, why should someone pick Polki over hundreds of other sarees brand out there?
So if a person is looking for a product, for a saree specifically, which offers them the comfort, and which offers them the designs that that kind of brings that nostalgia back for them, but also making it relevant for the modern world, that it doesn't act too boring or doesn't seem to outdated for the current world to be roaming around in the streets of, let's say, Mumbai or Delhi. I would say that person should be choosing us, should be choosing Polki, because they find the designs not just comfort, from a level of comfort, but they also find the designs which are unique and which are deeply rooted in Indian art.
So, let's do a quick rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Sure.
So, here we go. One brand you love to collaborate with.
I would love to collaborate with Chumbak. It's a home decor and fashion brand, lifestyle brand, if you might have heard about it. I feel that their designs are also something which are really inspired by Indian art and by the things that you see around. And these are the kind of maximalism that they have is something that we want to definitely experiment with, and maybe bring out a collection that kind of talks about it.
So, your guilty pleasure purchase online.
It's actually something which has to do with home decor. Anything, be it the curtains, be it the lamps, be it the paintings to go on the wall. Anything. I'm just a hoarder for all of it.
So, Instagram or YouTube, which is your go to platform?
Definitely Instagram.
One thing in your cart you haven't checked out yet.
Oh, it's actually a couple of junk jewelries that I really want to check out on, but I'm just trying to convince myself that I'm really going to wear it, because it's kind of different from what my style actually is. But I would just have to experiment with myself a little, with my style a little with it.
So, Shopdibz in one word.
I would say visionary.
Perfect. So, ma'am, I would love to know from you what do you think about collaboration with Shopdibz?
I would definitely love to. And since you mentioned it's not going to be a very hefty job for me to kind of onboard myself on different, through different processes and a lengthy process, it's going to be like a very quick few click processes. I would definitely love to, get access to the customer base that you have there at Shopdibz, and definitely want to reach out to better people.
Perfect. So that brings us to the end of the today's Shopcast episode. A big thank you to our guest Anshika and to all our listeners for tuning in. Don't forget to follow Shopdibz and to be a part of our journey in creating India's largest online mall for Indian brands. Join us next time for more inspiring stories, fun conversations, and everything about fashion, lifestyle, and entrepreneurship. This is Verkha Rani signing off. Stay stylish, stay Swadeshi.